Chief of Army Staff promises better welfare for officers, men. 2027 general elections, INEC threatens intolerance of electoral misconduct. Plus, resist offers to practice abroad. Federal government praise foreign trained pharmacists. River State is the treasure base of the nation. We must build and take it to greater heights because that is a task you and I must accomplish. Welcome to the World News. This is River State Television and we are live on YouTube and Facebook at Rstv online. Click that bell so you get live feeds straight from the studios. My name is Abubele Barapaka. I welcome you to the news. To rejig the workforce and provide a conducive working environment for the state civil service, Governor Siminala Ifubara, as a worker-friendly leader, has changed the narrative of the relationship between government and the governed. This commitment is evident in the yearly Christmas bonuses handed out to the workforce and the ongoing rehabilitation of the state secretariat complex. Our correspondent, Emmanuel Imeyono, brings us up to beat with current realities. That story as we go ahead with the rest of the reports. Now, the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Waidi Shaibu, has assured troops of the 6th Division Nigerian Army Port Harcourt of improved welfare schemes. He gave the assurance when he visited the division as part of his operational tour of divisions across the country. Justice Ihunwo has the details.
Visit of the Chief of Army Staff to 6th Division was his maiden operational visit since he assumed office. Lieutenant General Shaibu said the visit was to see the combat readiness of the troops and address their challenges to enable them carry out their duties seamlessly. The Chief of Army Staff reminded them of their duty of protecting critical national infrastructure, enjoining them to do so with utmost discipline and commitment.
Your job here is very key to protecting critical national infrastructures. And once you do that job very well, it will impact positively on the economy of the country. So you need to take your job here very seriously. While you do that, rest assured I will take care of your welfare issues.
He assured them that their welfare remains his priority, especially in addressing accommodation challenges and quality education for their children.
Look at the issues, some of the challenges that were raised from the brief that I was given, and some were addressed immediately, others will be addressed immediately when we get back to Abuja. You know, their job around here revolves around the protection of critical national infrastructures, which impact on our own economy as well. So once they do their job very well, I think everything will be okay.
There was also planting of trees. Justice Ihunwo, Rstv News.
Now back to our earlier report. To rejig the workforce and provide a conducive working environment for the state civil service, Governor Siminala Ifubara, as a worker-friendly leader, has changed the narrative of the relationship between government and the governed. This commitment is evident in the yearly Christmas bonuses handed out to the workforce and the ongoing rehabilitation of the state secretariat complex. Emmanuel Imeyono brings us up to beat with the reality on ground.
The River State Secretariat Complex, a major administrative landmark in the city of Port Harcourt, has a rich history. The construction of this gigantic edifice began between 1974 and 1975 under the military administration of the Governor Alfred Deity Spiff, whose tenure lasted between May 1967 and July 1975. The project was completed and occupied in 1979. Widely regarded as one of Nigeria's finest government office complexes, the Secretariat comprises several high-rise structures, notably the Point Block, and the podium block, which for decades have housed key ministries and government departments. On 7 October 2025, Governor Siminala Ifubara ordered the immediate rehabilitation of the Rivers State Secretariat complex following a fire incident that gutted section of the facility. The intervention of a multi-billion naira project underscores the administration's resolve to restore the complex and ensure a safe and efficient working environment for civil servants. During a visit to the Secretariat complex, our camera captured clear evidence of progress on site. Contractors have been fully mobilized with scaffolding equipment and construction materials already on the ground as renovation work gets underway. Since assuming office in May 2023, Governor Siminala Ifubara had prioritized the welfare of civil servants across the state, ensuring regular payment of salaries, settlement of promotion arrears and gratuity, and the approval of a 100,000 naira Christmas bonus for workers.
He says in his agenda, Rivers first. No matter the challenge he's going through, he's keeping his word.
The governor has done so well, and he did it last year, and this year again he did the same thing. We are very, very grateful. God will bless him. This has really helped most civil servants to go back to the market to buy things, to make their Christmas and their New Year very, very beautiful.
We know that he would have even done more in recent times, because we know that this governor was a civil servant and he has civil servants at heart. We expect much more from him. In fact, they're going to renovate our offices and put brand new equipment and furniture. Is something we're very, very happy with. The governor is doing well.
That's for the time civil servant that they paid 100,000 naira for Christmas bonus.
The ongoing rehabilitation of the Secretariat complex further reinforces the governor's commitment to strengthening and boosting the morale of the workforce. Emmanuel Emenyono, Rstv News.
The 2026 Impact Mentoring Outreach for pastors, ministers, and church leaders came to a climax today with breathtaking ministration, prayers, and a question and answer session. The annual program was organized by the lead pastor of Gateway International Church, Pastor George Izunwa. Nnamdi Olumini reports that thousands of ministers of the gospel, church leaders within and outside Nigeria attended the program.
The Impact Mentoring Outreach is a yearly spiritual revival and mentorship endeavor for young pastors and general overseers of churches who are hungry for spiritual growth and desirous to take their ministry to the next level in church growth and kingdom dominion. The 4-day program witnessed sound teaching from guest ministers like Pastor Edwin Bayebo, Chris Oare, Sam Ianacho, including the host Pastor George Izunwa and his wife, Dr. Emanuela Izunwa.
The teachers, the ministers, everything that was released was just amazing. And I am sure everyone is leaving here equipped and empowered to take 2026.
Some of the ministers, who are mostly general overseers of churches in Port Harcourt, Abuja, Bayelsa, Imo, Delta, Abia, Akwa Ibom, Lagos, and outside Nigeria, expressed satisfaction with the quality of mentorship, inspirational messages, and commended the convener of the program for his passion and commitment in building capacity of young ministers.
As a female minister, it's not easy, but the grace is sufficient for us.
You know, impact is always on learning and relearning, with a lot of decisions made that as we go, we are going to start implementation.
One of the major things I got in this program is that it created a new level of my spiritual attention.
The theme of the program, Apocalypse, was designed to stir up mental shift and empower ministers to fulfill destiny and become shining light for generational impact.
I want to thank God for the reach, for the atmosphere. People came from UK, came from several, highly impressed.
Yes, anybody, especially you are starting ministry in this product or in Nigeria, you should connect to Impact, because we teach intentional ministry there. Intentional ministry, how you can start from the scratch and get to where God wants you to get to.
Nnamdi Olumini, Rstv News.
The federal government has urged Nigerian pharmacists trained abroad to resist offers to practice overseas but instead deploy their skills to strengthen the country's healthcare system. The call was made on Friday in Abuja by the Coordinating Minister of Health and Social Welfare at the Federal Ministry of Health, Adeola Olufowobi Yusuf, during the induction and oath-taking ceremony for foreign-trained pharmacists. He said Nigeria's healthcare sector requires skilled professionals as the country intensifies efforts to improve access to quality medicines, enhance safety, patient safety, and promote the rational use of drugs. The minister also highlighted government's support for local pharmaceutical manufacturing, describing it as critical to job creation, increased trust in locally produced medicines, and national development. Adigwe said returning home after completing his studies in the United Kingdom was the best career decision he ever made, noting that pharmacists could make a greater impact where expertise was more needed. While acknowledging the financial appeal of working overseas, he maintained that remaining in Nigeria offered long-term professional fulfillment and opportunities to contribute to national development. Chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission, Professor Joash Ampiton, a senior advocate of Nigeria, has pledged that the 2027 general elections will be free, fair, transparent, and technologically driven. He also declared that the Commission will tolerate no misconduct in the electoral process. At the 2026 indictments, preparing for a rapidly evolving electoral landscape and must rise to the expectations of Nigerians. He thanked the staff for their performance in the November 2025 Anambra State governorship election, calling it a defining moment early in his tenure. Ampiton noted that the road to the 2027 general election would pass through major electoral milestones, including the February 2026 FCT area council elections and off-cycle governorship polls in Ekiti and Osun states. The INEC chairman outlined 5 non-negotiable pillars that will guide the Commission's work, which are free, fair, credible, transparent, and inclusive elections, that they would demand openness and real-time transparency. This is the news coming from Rivers State Television. Rivers State is the treasure base of the nation. Let's build and take her to greater heights. It is a task we must accomplish. We are live on Facebook and YouTube at Rstv Online. If you click the notification bell, you will get live feed straight from the studios. Just ahead after the break, IMF holds 1.8 Super Eagles. Prepare earnestly for Algerian clash Saturday. That's tomorrow. These and other stories are coming on the flip side, if you keep us company when we return after these messages.
Calm down. Calm down. What if I ruin everything? Auntie Amina is coming. Just pass the beef and dawa cubes. No, Hassan! With Mr. Chef, it's a 2-finger crush. Chef of life. Chef of life with Mr. Chef. This is a true taste of home and culture. Chef of life.
There is something about this God,
activating the unexplainable love of God.
Greater love had no man than this.
Greater love than no man,
that a man laid down his life for his friend.
You see, when God loves you, he fights your unseen battles. You are sleeping, you don't even know what is happening, but he's there fighting your battles for you. You are sitting in your house, he will raise a voice somewhere to be campaigning for you. Today, every storm in your life shall become still. The best way to find true love is to find God. Remember, God never sends you into a situation alone. He goes before you, he stands beside you, he walks behind you, he's always with you. All those that rejected you, as the Lord liveth, they must surely bow before you. When you have nothing left but God, you will discover that God is enough. God knows how long you have waited. Every second will be how the devil have damaged your life now. Don't worry. God is about to remold you, repackage you, redesign you, and beautify you.
OPM, Dr. Jesus in action. Dr. Jesus in action. God is here.
This is Rstv World News. We bring you world-class news, accurate, first-hand, entertaining, balanced analysis. Rstv, Channel 22 Port Harcourt.
It's my pleasure to welcome you to more news. Senegalese Prime Minister Ousmane Sonko has said his government would not seek a deal to restructure its debt despite facing repayment difficulties. The International Monetary Fund, also called IMF, said the West African country's debt reached 132% of GDP at the end of 2024. More on that story will be brought to you by Grace Isaac Jack.
Senegalese Prime Minister Ousmane Sonko said his government wouldn't seek a deal to restructure its debt despite facing repayment difficulties. The International Monetary Fund said the West African country's debt reached 132% of GDP at the end of 2024. The fund has since paused the $1.8 billion lending program, leaving Dakar struggling to meet its financing needs. Speaking at a joint press conference with Mauritania's Prime Minister on Thursday, Sonko said there was a way out of the crisis without resorting to debt restructuring. He expressed...
And our sports news. The federal government has announced that all group stage bonuses due to players of the Super Eagles at the ongoing Africa Cup of Nations AFCON have been released and are expected to reflect in the domiciliary accounts within hours. The Minister of State for Finance, Dr. Doris Uzoka-Anite, announced this in response to reports suggesting that the national team was considering boycotting training sessions and may not train for their quarterfinals. In a post on her X handle, Uzoka-Anite stated that the issue had been addressed through coordinated action by the federal government and the Central Bank of Nigeria. She explained that all bonuses earned during the group stage of the tournament had already been processed through the required regulatory procedures, and that the government